Hi, I have in front of me here a high definition 30-meter IR bullet camera. Basically, these are the new 960H high definition analog cameras, and it's a huge improvement on the previous analog cameras in terms of it's capable of giving high definition quality pictures. The other advantage of these cameras is that they can work with basically very similar DVRs, such as the 960H DVRs we stock, which can support the older ones and also these new higher resolution cameras. So let's come along and talk about the basic specifications of it. The first thing to note is that it's IP66, so it's ideally rated for all types of outdoor use. It comes with a varifocal lens from 2.8 all the way up to 12 millimeters. It has 38 LEDs on it for nighttime vision. It's very, very strong in that aspect. It's vandal resistant. It works on 12 volts and 230 milliamps, okay? So what we'll do at this point here is I'll just give an overview of actually what comes with the box, how we can do some adjustments on it, and also what we'll do then is I'll demonstrate it of it, focus just on some items in this room, and also we'll turn off the cameras and give some night vision examples. So we have the actual presentation box that comes in here. So we're just able to turn there. So it's quite attractive, and it just gives the basic specification, and it gives an example of comparing the D1 resolution, which would have been counted as good in the past, against 960H, just as an example of how powerful this is. We have a user manual here, which is in English, and it just gives the main specifications and a few adjustment guides in terms of the camera. There's two tools that come with it. We have a screwdriver here, which we'll use when we're adjusting both the zoom and the focus for loosening off the locks. And also we have an Allen key here, which we'd use for adjusting the angle which we're going to mount the camera at. And I'll just give a quick demonstration of that. Finally, we have these screws and plugs here, which are used in conjunction with this marking plate for marking out how we're going to mount this either on a wall or a ceiling. And the final add-on here we have is there's a 2.1 millimeter power jack here, and we'd use that in conjunction with the power input here. If we had a cable running up to it, we'd simply terminate with this and use that to power the camera. So let's look at the main event then, the camera itself. So we can see here, we'll just start off with the actual inputs and outputs on the camera. So the first thing we'll notice, we have a picture output here, a BNC connection here, and this is where obviously we're running the video from the camera back to our DVR. If we come along here, we also have a power input here marked in red, and when I mentioned earlier that we'd use the power 2.1 millimeter power jack, that's for actually powering the camera. If we look in the base here, we can see where we can actually come along and we can use this for mounting the camera onto a wall. And what I've used this Allen key here for a few moments is I just loosened the screw. I'm just going to tilt it over here for a moment so you can see. There's a screw here, we just loosened it with the Allen key, and that gives us a full 180-degree rotation here. So we can mount it on a wall or on a ceiling, just to mount down off a soffit, something like that. So it's quite adjustable to that extent. So if we turn over the camera here then, we'll see on the front here we have the LED lights. We have this sun and weather shade here on top. Now if we actually come along and show something interesting here in terms of the adjustment, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to slide down this cover here, and I'm just going to actually rotate off the lens on the front of this, just the outer cover actually. So I just grab this and it'll rotate quite neatly for me, and this will give me access to the internal guts effectively of the camera. So just going to overdo it here, and we have it off here now. So if we look along here and we focus in, we'll see there's two little handles here we can locking mechanisms we can adjust, and we use our flathead screwdriver to do it. The outer one, when we loosen it off, we can actually use it then to rotate this to adjust the focus of the camera, or if we rotate on the back, we can use it to adjust the zoom, okay? So, so the first thing, we'll obviously zoom in on a particular area, so we're deciding how much of an area to cover, and then we'll bring that picture into focus using these adjustments here. So you can see here, but it's important to know actually turning a screwdriver doesn't adjust either the focus or the zoom, it just releases the lock to allow us to adjust that, but it's very effective to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to screw this cover back on, if you're ready. And we just screw it back on like that. And there's a little rubber bung at the end of this, so that's what makes the camera totally watertight when we do this. and now we'll just slide the cover back up. So what I'm going to do at this point in time is I'm just going to aim the camera backwards here, directly onto the screen behind me, and I'm going to take up this lead that I have on the ground, and it's a BNC lead on one side, so connect that, and on the other side we have a power lead, and this is connected back to a DVR, which is connected to this TV here, and we can just see here that it just brings in the screen behind, so it just has a very clear picture on that. And we can just turn around and we can just look at a box over there, or just look up at our ceiling tiles, etc. And you know, I can't really demonstrate the full range of the abilities here, but you can hopefully make out the picture resolution, and it's quite good. So what we're actually going to do at this point is, I'm just going to get the cameraman here, is just going to come and we're going to knock off the lights. What will happen here is we'll go into total darkness for a few moments, but then we'll come back with a black and white picture, okay? And you can see here now. So we can focus up on our ceiling here. So make out everything very clearly. We can see the box in the corner. And even we focus around to our screen here, the DVR behind, all the rest of it. You can see that the nighttime vision on it's very good. Okay, so just knock the lights back on there. And it'll quickly adjust back to a full color picture here, which once again we can see from the TV. So, so you can see from that perspective anyway, it's a really good camera. It's part of a wider range of 960H cameras, DVRs, etc. we're bringing on here. And I really think that the 960H is going to prove to be very popular, simply because with the DVRs, we'll say, the 960H DVRs, you can put in high resolution cameras for certain areas, and you can also use the standard analog cameras on it. So you don't have to make a huge financial decision in terms of exactly what's going to be IP cameras or not, like you would if you're looking for high definition using IP. So this really has proved to be very popular, because for existing guys who are buying DVRs or upgrading their cameras, etc., this just proves to be a very, very easy way of doing it, because the technology effectively is exactly the same as before. It's just the resolution of the picture and all the rest of it is just much, much higher than it was before. So that's it anyway, an overview of the high definition 30 meter IR bullet camera.